I'm Tommy D from TheKnicksBlog.com from a very hectic New York City, across the street from Radio City. This is TKB TV. Joining me in studio, as always, from Sheridan Hoops, Mr. Moke Hamilton. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Tommy. How are you?
Great. And on the phone, our good friend Brian Geltzeiler from Hoops Critic. And Brian, I'm going to start with you because to me, this is where a lot of this stuff has been taken. It's Carmelo's team versus Amari. And fans, to me, have kind of gone into two different directions here. There's a lot of Carmelo questioning. Some may call it hatred. And Amari's kind of, you know, tiptoe to the side here, working on footwork with Hakeem Olajuwon. Why does Carmelo Anthony get so? Why is he such a polarizing player, and why does he draw so much negative attention and energy from Knicks fans?
Well, you know, it's interesting because he was brought in here to be a savior. And as you guys know, when you're brought somewhere to be a savior, you get set up for failure to a certain extent. And I think a lot of Knicks fans look at Carmelo Anthony and feel like he should be, you know, the Knicks version of LeBron James. And I don't think that's fair to Carmelo. Carmelo is not LeBron James. He's a different kind of player. Ultimately, he gets a ton of heat here. I think the ball stopper narrative is a lot of nonsense. I think he does some of that out of what he believes to be perceived need. I think you'll see a little bit of a different Carmelo this year after the Olympic experience. And I think Carmelo Anthony is a great player that needed more help around him, and he's going to have more help around him for this year. But I'm not sure that's ever going to be able to keep a lot of these haters at bay, Tommy.
Brian makes a great point. Carmelo is not LeBron James. When the USA needed a basket against Spain, they went to an isolation set and gave the ball to Kobe Bryant, who scored 2 big baskets for them in a row. In your opinion, what's the misperception, if that's even a word? Why do people look at Carmelo and think this guy needs to be LeBron James?
One, because they know that he can't be LeBron James. Now, the other reason why is because Knicks fans absolutely love Danilo Gallinari and Wilson Chandler and Raymond Felton, even though he's back now. But the thing is, Anthony's relationship with the Knicks and with the Knicks fans is always going to be sort of a love-hate kind of thing because of the way that he went about becoming a Knick. The team was totally blown up, and it was a team that the fans came to love. You can't do that, and you can't force yourself into a new situation and not have immediate success, especially not in New York, and not expect to receive the ire of at least some fans. And that's a major part of it, in my opinion. And
Brian, you know, Moke talks about the trade, and I totally agree. Let's say they didn't make the trade for Carmelo. Let's say they didn't bring in Darren Williams. You know, it would always be the next conversation. Is it Dwight Howard? Whatever the case may be. Maybe they don't get any of those guys, and they stick with Gallinari. They couldn't sign both Gallinari and Chandler. There would be complaints on that side as well. Carmelo Anthony is a proven closer, and to me, that's a commodity in this league.
I mean, I agree with you. You know, the thing is this. The opportunity to get Carmelo Anthony was there for the Knicks. The Knicks were looking for superstars. You can't forget how much they failed in trying to get LeBron James. They set up for 2 years to try to get LeBron James. Carmelo Anthony was the consolation prize. But that's the key line in this, consolation prize. You get a lot of people that are angry that they don't have LeBron James on the team that they root for, so they take it out on the guy that's been brought in to play that role, which is Carmelo Anthony. And again, he's a great player. Knicks fans should feel lucky to have him, and I think they're going to see a fantastic season out of him this season. I think, you know, Mike Woods is just starting to get an idea exactly how he needs to use him.
It's going to come down to one thing, and it's a safe argument to me, Moke. Melo has to win a championship in order for his haters to go away. LeBron's in Miami. Dwight Howard is in Los Angeles. The chips are stacked against him to begin with. It's too safe of a place to be. Where do you think, can you define the word win as it relates to Carmelo Anthony? What does he need to do to get a lot of those haters off his back? Or is it just he's got to win a championship?
I think that everybody is realistic enough to realize that it's going to be very, very daunting for the Knicks to overthrow the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference. And not many people are talking about the Celtics, but the Celtics are going to be relevant for at least another couple of years with the way they've retooled that roster. That being said, I'm not of the opinion that anything short of a championship will have Anthony's legacy be ruined in New York City. I think that if the Knicks kind of get back to where they were in the mid-90s, where everyone believed if things broke right that they would have a chance at winning. If they could win a playoff series this year, win 2 the following year, if they could win 55 to 60 games on an annual basis. I think that, especially considering the Knicks' dark past, or I should say the dark decade, I don't think that if Anthony were able to accomplish those things as the leader of this team, that, you know, people would look back at it and say that he was a failure.
Oh, Brian, now we have Amari Stoudemire down in Houston working out with Hakeem Olajuwon. Give me your thoughts on that as Amari heads into training camp.
I think it's a great sign for the Knicks. Amari did not have a good year last year, wants to play better. They have a screen and roll point guard here, Raymond Felton, who Amari's got a lot of chemistry with. This is a big season for Amari Stoudemire to step in here and show the Knicks that this Stoudemire-Anthony combination has been the right combination, and it is on Amari Stoudemire to be the one that makes that work.
It's definitely a big question. Moke, thank you very much for your information.
No problem.
Brian, as always.
My pleasure, brother.
And remember, to get all your information on the Knicks and a little NBA, check out the knicksblog.com, part of the SNY.TV blog network. I'm Tommy D. We'll see you next time.